everybody, it's Missy from Shimmerz, and I've had several requests to do a video showing the difference between white gesso and clear gesso. So I thought I would do that today. And so if you're just starting out with Shimmerz products, or you're just starting out using any type of paints or watercolors or sprays, things like that on your scrapbook pages, then this is going to be pretty good information for you to see, because the gesso does change and affect how the products look. So I've got some white cardstock here, and I'm going to start out with spreading around some white gesso over on the left. And the gesso, regardless of what kind you use, it's a primer. It's going to protect your paper, and it's going to give your paints a place to go so it doesn't just soak right through your paper. The white gesso is very good at helping fade away certain things. So if you were going to use a pattern paper, which we'll do next week, it's going to fade away some of the color or pattern that's on the paper, whereas the clear will not. So over on the right, I've got nothing. So I wanted to show you the difference between the two gessos and then leaving your paper completely naked, and how different it looks with some sprays. Now I've got spritz and 4-leaf clover here, and I'm just going to try to spray the same amount and the same colors on all three sections. Now sometimes, if you notice, if you use white gesso on white cardstock, it's really hard to match up the whites. So sometimes if you use white on white, they're still going to look a little bit different. I do that a lot. It does not bother me. Sometimes I use the clear. Now the clear gesso that I use the Liquitex brand. The clear is gritty. So when I rub my finger over it, I almost have like a sandy or a dusty feel on my fingers from the actual product. And I'm okay with that because I like texture. It just depends on what you're going for. So I've got these three colors sprayed. I added Jenny B Blue and No Yoking, and I'm taking a dry brush and just showing you how once you spray it on to the gesso, it's going to pull up a little bit, and you've got some time and some wiggle room to take your brush and do some blending with colors if that's what you want to do. It's not going to just start soaking into your paper. It's sitting on top of that gesso, and so you've got time to play. You can do some splatters, you can take a brush and blend. Same thing with the clear gesso. It's just a different feel. It's not as thick as the white gesso, but it's still creating a protective barrier on the paper, so you've got time to blend, time to, dab it up with a napkin if you change your mind. So there's lots of opportunity there to blend or to change your mind with certain things. And you can't dab up the entire thing, but you can make changes if you want to. Now over here where there's nothing, as you can see, it's not blending very much. It's pretty much soaked into the paper as soon as I sprayed it. Now if there's a little bit more wetness left, it would blend a little bit, but you're pretty much stuck with the shape of how it came out of the bottle. That's how it's going to look. And that's okay too. It's not wrong. It just depends on what you want to do and the look that you're going for. And you can also see how the white gesso sort of lightened up the color because there's all that white behind it. Clear gesso, it's a little bit more true to color. And then the no gesso, it's a lot darker. So you're already getting totally different looks just in the color alone. Now I'm going to come back in, now that these paints have had some time to sit on the paper, I'm still able to blend with my dry brush on the parts where I put the gesso. Not completely blend, but it's still going to give me some time to kind of, if I wanted to fade out some of the edges and bring the color out a little more. Now this is my water brush, and you can see I'm adding a lot more water here, and it's continuously letting me blend. Nothing is set in stone yet, and it's not soaking through the paper with the water. It's allowing me to do that very easily. Same thing with the clear gesso. I'm able to add a little bit of water and bring some more of the color out to the edges and do a little more fading. I like a more faded edge rather than a harsh edge. Now over here where I've got no gesso, lets me blend just a little bit, but what's going to start to happen here is my paper is going to start to ball up. And I'm going to show you that up close here in a second, which means if I keep going, I'm eventually going to tear a hole through my paper because it's not meant to hold all this water. So the gesso, I definitely recommend that. So there's a close-up shot of all three of them. Stay tuned next week. We'll do the same experiment on some pattern paper. So thanks for watching.